Welcome back to another episode of Allowed to Ask, brought to you by First Rounds on Media. You've heard us rave about First Rounds on Me, and if you haven't tried it, you're definitely missing out. Here's the deal. First Rounds on Me isn't about getting stuck in the app. It's all about getting you off your phone and into real live connections. Unlike other apps where you spend hours swiping and chatting, this one wants you to speed things up. You get on, you connect with someone, and you actually meet up. There is no wasting time. You could try their subscription for free for a whole month with the code A2A, like Allowed to Ask. Just check it out in the link in our show notes. Hello.
Hello.
We are sitting here with dating coach Erika Ettin.
That's me.
That's you, aka a little nudge.
That's also me.
We were
Yes.
just
Which is
talking
so
about.
cute.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
love your name. Tell us. Well, first, I want to know how you got a little nudge because I really, really love that Instagram handle and that
Thank
name.
you.
And then we know you're a dating coach, but I feel like there's so much more to unpack. So feel free to give us
How'd you
your.
get there.
There's
Yeah,
so
your
much to
elevator pitch.
unpack. Well, so I did not start as a dating coach. Obviously, you don't study that in school. And
Honestly, we should.
there are many things we should study in school
Yeah.
that we didn't. Finance, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, that's not the point. So I actually started my career as an economist.
Wow.
Yeah, believe it or not, very different. Because I always learn, and maybe you'll relate to this, you do the thing you're good at, you do the thing that's marketable. I was always good at math. So I was like, I guess I should do a math job. And I never really thought outside the box.
Right.
But separate and apart from that, I started online dating. If you research me enough, you know how old I am. But I started online dating in 2001.
I was trying to figure out how old.
Well, I was in college in 2001, so you can calculate.
Okay.
And what was out then? Match.com, JDate, that's
Right.
what I used at the time.
Are those even still around?
They are still around, yes. They were the sort of the first ones along with
the
eHarmony.
OGs.
And I was like, this seems like a cool way to meet new people. I didn't know anything about it. Of course, everyone else in my life was like, you're crazy. You're going to meet a killer. Or
Right. It was
something."
probably so
Exactly.
not the norm.
And so, I mean, there weren't even cell phones yet.
Right.
You're
So
like a pioneer.
I didn't think of it like that. That maybe now, thank you.
Yeah.
But then I was just like, seems cool.
You
Maybe-
created dating.
Maybe naive. Yes, I created dating, sure. So I did it on and off for a number of years. And then because of my background in economics and I like math, I started a spreadsheet. Now, initially the spreadsheet was so that I didn't accidentally write to the same person twice. Because then you weren't using your real names like Erica, Joe, Bob. You were
Really?
using like, Fun Guy New York or like on JDate, Hung Like a Mezuzah.
Yeah.
Was one of them, which
What?
I can't. Yeah.
How was hung like a mezuzah? Was he a good date?
I'm pretty sure I did not write to him.
That's a little schlocky.
It's kind of like when I was younger, it was like our AOL screen names. Like it was never
Exactly.
your name. Mine was Smile 199610.
Okay, love that. Mine was Great Day 99 with an 8.
Yeah.
Anyway, but then I started tracking things. I'm like, well, what percentage of men write back to me when I write to them? What's my conversion rate? If they write
Oh my
back,
God, I'm
what
loving
percent
this.
converts to a date?
Yeah.
And like real nerdy stuff. But then, you learn a lot, you make tweaks, you figure out what works and what doesn't. My friends started asking me for help. I
Right.
started helping them. I loved it. I really didn't like my job in finance. So in 2011, so almost 14 years ago, I
Yeah.
quit my job and started the business. A Little Nudge was the first name I came up with. And
Love.
someone was using the website, but they weren't like using it. Like
It
it was
wasn't
taken,
active.
but it wasn't active. So, it's public domain who
Right.
owns websites. So I just went and I wrote to this guy. I was like, hello, I'm a nice girl who wants to start a business. Please sell me your website.
And he did it.
And I said, how about $200? I like made up a price. And he's like, how about 1,000? I said, how about 4? And I think he sold it to me for 400, which was
Wow.
like the steal.
yeah.
So it was the only name I came up with and it was perfect.
And
It's
it's
so
perfect. 'cause
perfect.
It's so
Thank you.
gentle. Like I
Thank
feel
you.
like
I'm not-
through life for my kids.
Yeah.
I always tried to give them a little nudge.
Yeah,
Like,
sometimes a kick in the pants, but most of the time a little
Yeah.
nudge. Right.
Yeah.
I like it. It's great.
Thank
how
you.
do you use your name to like help patients, or is that kind of something you always go back to, like a little nudge when you're with
I
clients?
so rarely use it,
Yeah.
honestly. I mean, it's the name of my business, but I mean, I go by my name a lot
No,
too.
of course.
But I very rarely use it. But sometimes tongue in cheek, I'll be like, "So I'm giving you a little
little
nudge,"
nudge, yeah.
and then if they get it, I'm like, "Nah, I'm not a little nudge." But
Right,
you know,
yeah.
yeah.
But people need a little nudge. 'cause
Correct.
There's some people that don't even know where to
they
start.
don't know where to start. They need to be held accountable. They need to know the first steps to then do it on their own.
Right.
So I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a gentle way to push people.
Yeah. What would you say is the biggest thing people really come to you for? Like obviously dating, but is it getting themselves out there, getting over an ex,
Yes. Yes.
What is
Whatever you say, it's going to be
all
yes.
the above? Okay.
Yeah. I would say holding themselves accountable to putting themselves out there. That's
Mhm.
one. Making time. So I guess that's similar.
Yeah.
re-strategizing whatever they're doing is not working. Why is it not working? So
Right.
either revamping their online dating strategy, revamping the way they actually put themselves out there in real life. It could
Oh, I
be
know what you
something
think about,
could be
yeah,
something
revamping it.
physical. I mean, people ask me like, what should I be talking about? What should I be wearing? What should I be doing?
Right.
Pretty much anything under the sun dating related, I have answered.
No, I was laughing when you said something physical. It's like, okay, you need to do your eyebrows, get a nose
Well,
job.
I don't say okay.
Botox in your forehead.
I don't say that. If it's a quick
God
fix,
forbid.
well, if it's something quick that takes under 5 minutes that doesn't cost much,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll ask someone, are you open to some physical feedback?
Oh.
If they say yes, I say it. If they say no, I keep my big mouth shut.
I feel like that's really rare too, because I feel like a lot of dating coaches, obviously you're focusing on this too, is about like the actual date, but not so much to like prep for it
Well,
in a
there's-
way, where like
right.
physical prep too, where it's like you want to feel so good in your skin and your body before going on a date.
Yeah, and if there's something that I notice immediately, it means that if I'm an average person,
Right.
I'm clearly not the only person who noticed. I
Correct.
still remember this right when I started my business. So maybe like 13 years ago, there was this woman, maybe in her 60s, who came to me and she had black nail polish on, which is popular now, but less so 13 years ago. Especially, she was pretty.
She wasn't. I love black nail polish.
A lot of people love it now,
Yeah.
less so then.
Yeah.
She was really soft spoken and very feminine, and this black nail polish was coming off as really harsh.
Right.
And it
Interesting.
was impacting what people were thinking of her. And it was funny because initially I asked her, she sent me pictures she was thinking about using. And I said, oh, this must be really recent because you're still wearing the black polish. She goes, no, that's all I wear. And I said, oh, I said, have you ever considered, I asked her permission.
Yeah.
And I'm not wearing any today, so I'm not one to talk. But I said, have you ever considered a different color just for fun, spice
Right.
things up? She goes, no. I said, I wonder what would happen.
Yeah.
So that
Oh, I love
week,
that.
she got pink or a French manicure, something very girly.
Yeah.
And she texted me. She goes, "You're worth your weight in gold. I feel lighter. People are treating me differently."
I love
and I'm like,
that.
"That's incredible." And all it took was a little change.
Yeah,
Did you
because
hear-
she was projecting an image.
She
like-
was.
Yeah.
And I think she might have been
hardcore.
hiding behind it, like making
Yeah,
herself
absolutely.
harder in some way.
Right.
Did you hear about the red nail theory? Have you heard about that?
What is this? Oh
the
boy.
red nail? It was like a thing last year. Like one influencer, I think she was a journalist, or I don't know who it was. I'm
Okay.
blanking, but she made a video being like, every time I get red nails,
Mhm.
I have men coming up to me.
Oh, I believe that. Red
So,
in
like,
general.
Yeah, right. So like it was crazy. She was like, when I have like pink on, like not so much. Like, and she was like, I think she's a pretty girl in her own right. And I'm blanking on her face right now though. But every single time she said she wears red, so every single
Good.
girl on TikTok was like, red nails, red nail theory.
I think people in general are drawn to red. It's striking. I mean,
Mhm.
it's synonymous with blushing. It's
Mhm.
the color of
Yeah.
sexual things sometimes. And so there was an old study, very old, so I don't want to quote it necessarily, but that showed that if you were wearing red in your profile picture, more people wrote to you than if you were wearing any other color. And
You
so
think that's still a thing?
absolutely.
Wow.
If you wear a bland color,
Yeah.
who's going to say a nice
Nice beige
nice blue
sweater.
top.
Yeah.
No, but if you're wearing red, people, especially men, notice because
Yeah.
it's like, ooh, sexy red,
Oh.
like a red Corvette. You know what I mean? I also tell
Like our
people
last name, Crivette.
a red Corvette.
Yeah.
Other thing with nails and fingers and stuff, I tell people if they're single and want someone to approach them, wear no rings, naked fingers.
Really? Oh my
Yeah.
God. I usually
Oh, you're
I
naked
usually-
today.
I am naked today, but interesting.
Why do you say that? Not a ring on your
Because-
ring finger, but
Any finger, especially if you're looking for men have no idea what a wedding ring looks like. They don't know any. You could be wearing a costume flower jewelry ring on
And
your
they're like, you're
thumb
engaged.
and they think you're married. And so just to be safe,
Yeah.
no rings whatsoever. Because in other countries,
Interesting.
they wear their wedding ring on other hands. It's just
Yeah.
too confusing. Pictures are sometimes the reverse. So just don't wear rings. I'm not saying you'll automatically get approached.
No, totally.
But
it's
if
like a
someone
fun
is
little-
inclined to approach you and they see a ring, that's like a huge barrier for them.
Interesting.
Oh,
I
yeah.
literally
That's good
usually like
intel.
stack my whole fingers with rings, but I'm no longer single. But when I was single, and even now, like
Uh-huh.
I won't wear a ring on my ring finger. I think it's like a kanahara. Like I
Me
think
too.
it's like
Yeah,
I think it like jinxes it.
good.
And like when my friends got engaged, like I had friends who would like try on their rings, and I'm like, do not put that ring near this finger. I'll put it on my pinky. I think it's like a weird jinxing thing.
People get very confused. So I would say if you don't want to confuse people, wear nothing.
Yeah, I like that.
I really like that. I think also like people always say if like you want to be approached in a bar or something, like never stand like this or like show that you're open. It's interesting how like physical things to like your nails or your whatever it may be.
Anything.
Could be block rings.
Turtlenecks make you look closed off because you're covering your neck. When you can see this part of your neck, you look more open. When you sit more like this, you look more confident. If I'm sitting like this and I'm taking up space, I'm more confident. If I'm sitting here like this, all crunched up, I look like I have no idea what I'm talking about.
It's really true. And who would have ever thought of that? It's like Benny, a guy we had on who said, just smile. You're open for business. Like, just be welcoming.
That concept contradicts the idea, though, I feel like, of like, you don't need to show it all off and like leave them wanting more. Like,
whatever.
Yeah, it's true. It's interesting hearing everyone's take because people are always like you don't need to like show your boobs to like attract men or like show your chest. Like wear the turtleneck.
I'm not saying show your chest.
No,
but
right.
I mean, do whatever you want.
No, totally.
But I wouldn't wear a big, thick, cowl neck on a first date or if you're trying to meet people. It's just there's so much fabric there.
Right. Yeah. No, I totally agree.
I just want to circle back for 1 second. So when you went
I love when you say circle back.
Finance to dating, becoming a dating coach, like what did your family and friends think?
I knew you were going to ask that.
This was years ago too. They must have been like, what are you talking about?
They flipped out.
Yeah. It's a big pivot.
I was very nervous to tell my parents because I was afraid they would try to talk me out of it because it was not practical, I love my parents and they're obviously extremely proud of me. Mm-hmm. But at the time, all they talked about was health insurance. How are you getting health insurance? Buy health insurance. I buy health insurance.
But honestly, still the same thing when you go off on your own. I have my own business. And my dad's like, what are you doing for health insurance?
You can't be one day without health insurance.
Yeah, you can go one day. I'm like.
Exactly. I went 4 days. I never told. It's fine. We're good now.
Speak your truth.
I didn't break anything.
Speak your truth.
But no, they were obviously worried for me because I did well at Fannie Mae and they didn't know my potential. I didn't know my potential.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily, I'm a really hard worker. I thought of a business that there was a need for, and I do much better than I did at Fannie Mae, but I probably work so much. I work so much harder. But they were not thrilled, and so I didn't tell them until I gave my job notice.
Wow,
because
that's bold.
That's insane.
It was, and I didn't tell any of my friends that I was thinking about it because. Maybe I have too much pride, but I was afraid that if I changed my mind, it would seem like a failure, which,
I got
this
that.
many years later, it's like, who cares?
Right.
But then I think I had too much pride, And so I read, even though I have a business degree, they didn't teach you like how to start a business. They taught you how to write a business plan, but I wasn't raising money. It's just me. And so I needed to learn the practical aspects. There was no Stripe or Square or anything to take payments then like that.
Right,
I had to learn other ways to take payments. So I read The Idiot's Guide to Starting a Home-Based Business. And I went on vacation that winter to Mexico, not Mexico City,
which you will be going
to Cancun with some friends for New Year's. And I hid the book and I put an Us Weekly over it because that's more believable for me, which I don't know what that says about me, but I didn't want them to know I was
We're
thinking
People
about it.
magazine.
Yeah.
Thank
people,
you.
so you're good.
That would be
you.
my book club.
You're with your people.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And so I sort of did it all behind the scenes, then quit my job, then told people.
And were your friends all
respect
single
that.
then too? You were all single when you started when you were a dating coach?
I would say some were, some weren't. I worked with a few, I called them beta clients to start just to make sure I had my process down. One was the person I was seeing at the time, his cousin. One was a coworker at Fannie Mae. One was a friend. And so I wanted to make sure I had my process down. And then once I did, I launched.
How did you promote yourself back then?
It was really hard. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Social media was not what it is now, obviously. And I tried anything under the sun. I remember I sat at a festival for 4 days, like a county fair. Well, what a silly choice. Like that's all families. Yeah. But I didn't know. I was learning as I went. 2 people hired me. 2 other vendors hired me.
That's great.
Which is hilarious. I think at the time I did do some Facebook ads and then word of mouth. I worked so hard. I went to 2 speed dating events every week with a clipboard. And I had an arrangement with the company so that I could come for free.
Right.
And people would sign up for my mailing list. And I really grew my mailing list over the years.
It's amazing.
And I just worked so hard at the beginning.
You really had to get out there like
I had to get a solid base of clients. And now, I mean, now it's nice. I don't have to do that.
Right.
But now it's word of mouth and referral and Instagram.
Right.
But it wasn't then. So I tried everything I could possibly do, no matter how weird it felt or sounded.
It was old school. You got to get out there and actually like go to people's doors in a way.
I put business cards up at coffee shops. I would pin them. You know, whatever you had to do.
You were ahead of your time.
You were so ahead.
I was ahead of my. I had no idea. I was ahead of my time. I had no idea when I did online dating. I was ahead of my time, and I had no idea when I started the business. I was ahead of my time.
You're smart and you have grit.
I appreciate that. It's funny, like thinking back now, would I do it again? I have no idea. I'm glad I don't have to. Like I'm thrilled to be doing this now. But maybe I was more naive then. I'm glad I did it when I did. Yeah. You know?
No, you
and
got
you're finding people love. Like how rewarding is that?
Very rewarding. It's extremely rewarding.
Is your work with, you know, clients like more ongoing? Is your goal to be like go off and flourish.
I would love to lose every single one of my clients for the right reason. I would love for them all to go away. I've done my job and it comes back in karma and referrals.
Yeah.
And so I've sort of shifted my business over the years in terms of I do much more coaching now than I used to. I used to not really do any coaching.
You mean to nudge people out the door and
date? Like working. So I consider it doing the work with you, which is coaching, and doing the work for you, which is I'll get to. So
that sounds fun.
Yeah. So the with you is I work with you over Zoom and basically teach you how to get your own dates, teach you the tools, teach you how to do online dating better.
I would love to be a fly on the wall on one of those. It sounds fun.
It is fun. There's never a dull day. I'll tell you that. I write many profiles with clients, for clients. I swipe with them. I watch them swipe. I tell them what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. And I give them feedback
I love that.
Honest, you know, feedback that sometimes they don't want to hear.
Can I go back to the part where you said what they're doing right and what they're doing? What are things you see that people are doing right and wrong when swiping?
Oh, well, people are swiping left, so not interested willy-nilly. I mean, they're looking at one picture. You know, everybody does it.
Yeah.
But it's like, come on. Right. And so this morning, I was on with a guy, and I understand that men are visual. I get it. I'm not naive.
Yeah.
But like he was swiping so fast. I'm like, give it just like 1 sec.
That literally used to be me.
He's like, look at the rest of her pictures. Look at the profile. I'll do it with anyone.
And I like to read a little too. When I was doing it with her, we put it up on the TV.
Oh, that's fun.
She was like, this, ping, ping, ping. I'm like, wait, I need to look. I want to see
So I make people look. And if it's still a no, fine. But if they have no good reason to say no, I say, what's the worst that happens? They actually write back.
You're
not committing to anything. You're not committing to a date. You're not committing to marrying this person.
Right.
Nothing. And so what's the harm in sending a message? People are, in their profiles. I looked at a woman's profile this morning. She had 0 words written. And I'm like, so you're essentially telling people, judge me for my looks.
Yeah.
That is what you are telling people. Is that what you want to be telling people? She's like, my God, no. And I'm like, because that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. And so you help with the profile. And
I will write the profile. Yes. On the spot. I'll ask them questions. So like, all right, let's play a game. Let's pretend I'm writing your Bumble profile.
Okay. Or first round's on me.
Okay, perfect. Your first round's on me profile. What are some things you enjoy, both of you? Like, what do you consume? Food, drink, entertainment, listen to, watch? I don't care.
I love to work out.
Uh-huh.
I'm a
what kind of working
instructor.
Out? Oh,
I have my
neat.
certification.
Okay.
I love trying new restaurants.
Uh-huh.
I like going to cocktail bars, even though I'm not a big drinker, but I still like to go.
Okay, same.
And I love to read thriller novels.
Okay, perfect. And are you from here originally?
I'm from New York. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, yes. Any more to add?
I love playing cards with my friends.
Uh-huh.
I love walking.
Uh-huh.
Hanging out with your kids.
What card games?
Hanging out with my kids, canasta.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
so I always like specifics because anyone could say, I like food. I like podcasts. I like but canasta. All right. I play mahjong.
I used to play, but I forgot how to play now. I haven't got a card in like 5 years. You'll pick it up.
I just ordered my card.
Okay.
Anyway. Okay. So I might start your profile and say Pilates and podcasts. That pretty much defines my life. And then we go on from there. Thank you. Into, tell me your latest speakeasy and I will, I don't know. Right. Just something like that.
Oh, I wish I had you like a year ago.
Thank you. And for you, it might be like, home is in Westchester, heart is in the city.
Heart is at a fatty Italian restaurant.
Yeah, no,
okay,
heart
fine.
is in
heart
my
is,
bed.
Okay, well, we won't put that heart is in your bed. But you know what I mean? We're making
that's too sexual, Mom.
Yeah, too sexual. We don't put anything beds, cuddling, kissing. Yeah. But so you see, we have a little hook. We make you not everyone could say Pilates and podcast. I couldn't say that, so a little unique to you and not like I like to go out and stay in.
Right.
So I work on that with clients and then we work on messaging together too. So.
My least favorite prompt I used to always see was like, for the table I always order and it's like tequila shots. It's like, oh, God,
I swear there is some alternate universe dating coach out there telling these men what to say because they all say the same ridiculous things. And if I have to read it, I read so many profiles.
I'm sure.
If I have to read another, I'll give you, give me my hoodie back after you borrow it.
Oh, my God, I used to always see that one.
I'm going to jump out the window. It's ridiculous.
Or where could you find me after work? The gym.
Yeah, got it.
Come on. Like,
right. Do you have more men than women?
I have more women than men.
Well, okay, that's what I would have thought.
I think women are often, it's more common for us to feel comfortable asking for help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I agree.
That's just like.
I love working with men though. I feel like I can be a little more straightforward with men. I don't have to finesse my language as much because they just want to hear it.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
What would you say are some common mistakes people make going on first dates and how could they shift that?
Putting too much pressure on themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, people want to know, is this my forever the one spouse, long-term relationship, parent of my child?
Right. Your mind can do crazy things.
Yes.
Don't do that. Yeah. Easier said than done. I understand. That's why I call it dating NATO. Oh, you have notes on it. I love it.
Dating NATO. What's dating NATO?
Love this.
Thank you. I call it not attached to outcome.
Okay.
NATO.
So perfect.
Thank you. Because it's
I love that.
Everyone gets so attached to, they have to fulfill this role for me. Mm-hmm. And then they're sitting on a date next to a stranger, backfilling. Could this person drinking their tequila shot next to me be the future parent of my, God, I don't know. So how about instead, we're not so attached to what we ultimately want somebody to be, but we're just getting to know a new person. We'll see how they fit into our lives.
Right.
Do you find that even with, I don't know what like your average age demographic is, but
it's all over the map.
With people who are, let's say around my age, 20, late 20s and same with 60s, like do people in their 60s still like
Yes.
Think about the fill. Okay.
Well, it's less,
you're answering too.
It's less that they're going to have children together.
Yeah. No,
but it's more, are we going to retire together?
Right.
Do they have enough money to travel to all of the places in the world that I personally want to go in the next 5 years?
Right.
And it's like, I don't care.
Right.
Let's see instead if you can have a nice conversation. How do you feel in this person's presence? Do you feel attractive?
Right.
Like, do I feel good sitting here? Do I feel like this person is listening to me or just trying to one-up me at every turn? Do I feel funny? Do I think they're funny? Do I feel like this person is listening to me? Are they nice?
Right.
If my friend walked into the bar and saw us, would I be mortified or would I feel proud? Like, those are things you should be thinking about.
So how do you get people to stay more present and in the moment and not meet a guy who looks great and is great on paper and just thinking like, oh, I'm going to have his kids.
Yeah. I tell them not to stop dating after a good first date, not to stop dating other people after a good first date. I don't want them putting all of their eggs in one basket, all of their eggs fertility-wise or otherwise.
Yeah. My whole thing was like, and I said this before on here, but people would say like, you can't like put all your eggs in one basket. And I always say like, I'd put the whole farm in a basket. Like when I like someone,
she loves hard.
No, when I love hard. And like, when I liked hard. Like I just like, I couldn't like, there were times when I would go on dates with guys and then like, I would go on maybe like one or two, like with my boyfriend now, like when we first met, I went on one other date with another guy like the next week. And then I never went on a date with anyone else. Like I just was never. And then I've had a friend who, with her now boyfriend, she went on a bunch, not a bunch, but a good amount of dates before they became official. And I just like, I was never able to get myself to do that.
I think whatever works for you is what you should do. Right. So I'm not going to, clearly you're happy. I'm not going to poo-poo what you have done. Like you shouldn't have done that.
Poo-poo what?
No, I'm not poo-pooing. But now I'm thinking of like poo-poo flat. Anyway, But I do recommend like truly getting to know someone over a period of time. I sometimes say like you can't microwave a relationship because I think sometimes people come in with these questions, these hard-hitting questions. I must know this and I must know that and I must know this. It's like, I don't know. Anyone could answer anything, you know, in a vacuum or out of context.
Right.
If you see them over time, these answers are going to come out without you having to ask. And also by the time you get to exclusivity, present company excluded, I want you to know what you're getting.
Right.
And so if you decide to become exclusive after 2 dates, you don't know what a relationship with this person looks like.
It's true.
But if you do it after 2 or 3 months, you have a pretty good sense of what being with this person will look like.
Yeah.
Because once you become exclusive, I always say, I don't expect behaviors to change all that much.
Right.
They're not going to get better.
Right.
They might get worse. But it's not like all of it. It's like a job. Okay, let's say.
Oh my God,
I always relate it to dating. Like
There's
it's
so
another
many.
job.
Yeah, there's
Literally
so many
all the time
analogies.
she says that.
I mean, it's like the job search.
Yeah.
But it's also like, let's say there's a job and there's an entry level position and a professional position, whatever, A and B. You're in A. Do you get promoted to B because all of a sudden they're like, you should be a B, and then all of a sudden you have to learn a different job? Or do you get promoted to B because you're gradually doing the job
doing
of
B,
B,
yeah.
and then you get the label to go? Obviously the latter.
Yeah.
And that's what I want a relationship to be for people too. You give it the title of exclusivity or boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, whatever you want to call each other, because you're already doing that.
Right.
Oh, I really
I
like
agree.
that. That's really
But
good.
also the Fast and Furious, like it's nice, slow and steady. Like,
Yeah.
get to know
and
somebody,
steady.
no pressure. That whole hot and everything doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, no. I was like notorious for hot and heavy, and they
Yeah.
all literally burn into
Like,
aggressive
They do. I
flames.
mean, who hasn't done that? We've all done that. Who
yeah,
hasn't done that? But we learn from experience,
Right.
and like I get it. It's exciting when you feel a connection with someone. But if this is going to be a person you're going to spend a lot of time with, you don't need to have the entirety of a relationship
Right
within
off
a
the
week.
bat. Right.
So you do a lot on the apps with your clients?
Yeah,
Do you have your own roster of men and women that you,
I don't matchmake, so
Okay.
so no. So the other what I was going to say before,
what do you keep
the other
finding
thing
the
I
same
do,
great guy online?
Yeah.
All right, I got another one for you.
I will say once. This is okay. Well, okay.
We can cut it out if you don't want
No,
it.
it's fine.
Okay.
It's funny. The other part of what I do is, and again, I've shifted to more coaching. So I have very limited capacity for this service because I'm doing it all by myself.
Because
But
I have clients for you. I have
I
like a lot
can't
of my
wait.
friends.
That's perfect. For
Kids.
some people, they actually outsource the legwork of the online dating to me.
Okay.
I do the writing and send
This is
them on
like-
the dates.
That is like my mom's dream. You used to
So
always
that's-
say
So
you
when
want to
we
do that.
started this
Yeah.
podcast,
Yeah.
I'm just not really, I mean, I could barely send out an email. But when we started this podcast and she was single, and that's why we started the podcast Allowed to Ask, because
I love it.
related to dating.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I wanted to take her phone because I would really like look at these guys and not just visually look at them and just
Mhm.
see if I had a sense. And she was so
There
fast.
used to be a company that started for that reason. It was called the J Mom.
It's
Oh.
so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like in a way when none of my friends are really single anymore, but we'd always like go on each other's apps and like swipe for each
Yeah,
other.
yeah. So I just do that.
Yeah.
But with more professionalism, I guess.
Right.
But or like with the knowledge of I see these profiles every day. So the funny thing I was going to say is for a long time I had all these women in LA. I don't know why, and they all lived in like a similar area and they were all in their 30s and 40s.
Oh my God, you saw the
And
same
so-
guy over and over again.
I shouldn't.
Okay.
I was writing to the same guy as 6 different people. I
Oh
was
my
just
God.
curious to know who he would ask out.
I would
Oh my
love that.
God.
He asked out one of them.
Wait, this would be.
Wait, I
this-
like that he only
Wait,
won.
no, but this would be my husband's joke. The one with the big tits.
yeah, that's literally what my dad was saying.
They're all wonderful women. I'll just say that.
I mean,
Everyone
but
has,
honestly, like
everyone
that he-
is unique in their own way.
I honestly liked that he only asked one out.
yeah. He only asked one out, and they had a nice time.
Same age range of everyone. Like, all
Yes,
the
isn't
girls?
that crazy?
But
It
how
is.
did you mentally do that?
Spreadsheet.
Oh, I'm like crazy with my memory. I don't know. I remember everything.
But what about like from like your like you obviously have such a professional view on like what to be looking for, but
Yeah.
you have like
Well, this
a,
guy seems so great that I wanted everyone to go out
right,
with him.
but
Yeah.
you have a lens around like because what I would like might not be good for what Betty likes. Like,
Right.
do you know what I
Betty.
mean?
Oh yeah. Well, I have to
Betty.
get to know you. Yeah, who's Betty? I have to get to know you really well.
Right,
But also, I want some leeway.
right.
So if you give me a bunch of strict criteria, I'm going to try to see where there's some wiggle room.
Okay.
Because if you tell me a bunch of stuff and there's nobody actually left,
Right.
one, my job is too hard.
Right.
And two, you're not going to be happy with either me or the results.
Right.
And I don't want to fight with you.
Right.
Like, I don't want to argue with my clients. So I'll ask up front, like, where is there some leeway? Where is there some wiggle room?
Right.
Because if you tell me he has to be 6'4", you know, I'm looking for a man in finance.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no.
Right.
Well, I have a good friend who is divorced. She met somebody and she's in a very happy relationship. But when she got divorced, she was like, they have to be over 6 feet and have hair. And I was like, okay, well, we're like 60-year-old women. And like
most don't have hair.
Yeah, you're cutting out 3/4 of the population.
I do want to know that
more actually. If you tell her, only 13.9% of men are 6 feet or taller in the U.S.
She also said that to a woman whose husband is short and bald.
Correct.
Love you, Dad.
Yeah.
Dearly. But like, we're
my dad is short
facts
and bald.
here. Yeah.
So also, how do you get people to, I mean, you have these women
do my
coming in or
best.
men, like I'm sure they're fabulous or they think they're fabulous. How do you get people to sometimes be a little
can't
bit
always.
more realistic with their expectations?
I do my best.
Yeah.
I can't force anyone.
Right.
Now, if I'm working with someone, if I'm doing that full service, I'm working with them for 3 or 6 months. So I have more time with someone. If it's a one-off coaching session, like I offer a 40-minute coaching session, I don't want to change someone's opinion in 40 minutes. I can't.
Yeah, you can't.
I'm no miracle worker. I mean, I'm good, but you know, I can't make a miracle happen. But what I can do is make them ask themselves why.
Right.
And if I can get someone to think about the why and realize it's just not adding up, then I feel like I've done my job. So if, for example, they say they want someone of a certain religion, I'll do it with myself. I used to think, you know, when I did J-Date back in the day, I was like, I need someone Jewish. And then I asked myself the why. And I'm like, he needs to eat my brisket. So really, want someone who eats meat. I don't care about the Jewish.
Right.
And someone, I don't even go to synagogue anymore. But at the time I went, you know, high holidays.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
and someone to come with me, what, once a year, twice a year.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you don't even be Jewish for that. You could be, you
Right.
could be anyone.
Right.
And it was like this epiphany I had. And so if anyone I work with ever has even remotely close to that epiphany,
Yeah.
I feel amazing.
You did your job.
Yeah. And then if they thank me later and they'll be like, yeah, I did go out with someone who, you know, wouldn't have been my quote type and I really
Yes.
like them.
That brings
Oh
a
my
whole
God.
different-
You know,
Right. So
Yeah.
you must be so busy.
I'm so busy.
Like just, I mean, every time you're sitting down, you're probably just swiping for clients.
I'm very
and
busy.
looking and
Yeah. I mean, I like it that way. But now that I've shifted more to the coaching and less to the swiping for clients,
Right.
because I found, and I think you'll agree with this, people appreciate you more when they see you working. And
Right.
so when I'm actually working with a client over Zoom, I feel more appreciated in my expertise and in my
Yeah.
job. And so I found that brings me a little more
Mhm.
joy now.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm on Zoom all day. By the end of the day, I look like this emoji, you
Yeah,
know, with,
it's
with
spinning
my
wheel.
eyes
Uh-huh.
spinning.
I'm so interested in the you swiping for people though, because my mind's going to like you're talking to a guy, let's say, or a guy talking to a girl, whatever.
Yeah.
Whoever your client is, and do you try to like talk in their tone of
I
voice?
do.
Because I do feel right. I feel like if you're talking to a guy and then she goes on the date and she's like nothing like the way she's bantering.
right.
I will always stick to how they talk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going
That's wild. You
I'm-
talent.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, thank you.
crazy.
I'm also not going to take someone on who I don't think I can accurately represent.
Right.
And then you have to give the little tidbits like, I told him you love
Oh,
watermelon.
well, I share that. They have to see the
Yeah.
exchange.
Yeah.
They have
Oh, they-
everything. They
oh, I
have
see.
to. Yeah, they need to know.
I have access
Yeah.
to it still. Yeah.
Yeah, or I send them a little summary,
Right.
like a little video summary of I'm like, here's your Hinge conversation. Bye, have fun. And then I send them a link to where they're meeting, like a map link and the time, and they read it over or watch it, and then they show up. If I don't know something, I just text them and be like, hey, have you ever been to Bermuda? No? Great.
Is there a limited amount of time you talk to these people, or you do it until
Oh,
you go on
I
a
am
date?
so efficient.
That's-
I get
is
them a
there,
date
like,
within a week. Any advice I give on Instagram, on my website,
Yeah.
anywhere is everything I'm doing for or as my clients. That's why I'm so efficient.
Right.
I get them on dates.
So good.
Like, everyone gets stuck in the pen pal.
Yeah.
I don't have any of that. If someone stops answering, no date. If someone,
That's was one of my questions for you. Like, what is the secret sauce? Like, do you talk less and just get the date? Or
I mean, I share all of my secret sauce. So you talk less, you get the date. Now, Think of it as a funnel. I get excited.
I love it.
Everything is a funnel.
So like knowledgeable.
If you put something food or drink related, let's say drink related, what's your drink of choice?
Gin martini, dirty, not too dirty.
Great. What's your
Extra
drink of
olive.
choice?
I'm like a Diet Coke or seltzer. I don't know.
Okay, great. And mine is, let's say a Manhattan.
Okay.
Or a Mezcal Manhattan.
A mezcal.
Anyway, so let's say you put your, what did you say? Gin martini.
Gin martini.
Okay. You put your gin martini in your profile. Now, it's very easy for someone to know what to ask you to do on a date. They can take you out for a gin martini.
Right.
So it's planted. They don't know you planted it for that reason.
Yeah, but it's like, it's
so
handy
now,
to them.
when you're having the conversation, you'll start the conversation by commenting on their profile and asking a question. And then slowly you're going to narrow the funnel so you're talking about food or drink.
Yeah.
Okay? And then it's an easy transition to, oh, should we try that together? Oh, this would be so much easier to talk about in person.
Beautiful.
That's a good question. Probably easier in person. Or for some women who aren't comfortable just overtly asking someone out, I have them say, I'm really enjoying our conversation. Where should we go from here? Then he thinks it's his idea that he asked.
Yes, you. It's
What's
so
your
good.
opening question though? Do you have like one when you?
No, it's always based on their profile.
Yeah, you
So
gotta
if
be
they
niche.
write something, if they write, I like podcasts
Yeah.
in their profile, I'll say, I'm in the market for a new podcast. My top 2 are this. What's yours?
And people like sharing about themselves. So not being
Yeah.
like, oh, I love this podcast, check it out. Being like, what podcast like do you like?
Yep. People love when you ask their
Also with
opinions.
the whole like talking for a certain amount of time. I need to like plug First Rounds on Me because it's literally just genius in
Yes,
that way.
I agree.
And I'm sure you know about it, but it's just the fact that you actually have to plan the date right away and actually to even connect with someone and you
Right.
can only talk for 24 hours is like the epitome of what you were just saying. Like it plans the date, you have the minimal conversation, and it saves the whole even having to say, let's talk about it in person, waiting for the date to be planned because it's already planned. It's
Exactly.
genius.
One other trick that I don't think any other dating coach says because they disagree, and that's fine because mine has a much better conversion rate, is plan the entire date on the app and do not exchange phone numbers until the full date is planned. So I don't want this, here's my number, I'm never on this app.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's
you
what-
literally know everything to a T.
I know everything. Anyway, so because that's a cop-out, right?
Right.
Either someone's going to drop the ball or there's no more urgency. It'll become good morning, good night, good morning,
God,
how's
yeah.
it going? Nobody has time. I don't even ask my friends how their day is going, okay? Nobody cares. And so I don't mean nobody cares.
I know,
but I mean,
it's like, it's
do
like
you
true.
seriously text your friends how's it going? No.
Right.
Like sometimes.
Fine. But you know what I mean.
But she had it for a while on dating apps, like where the guys were like, she said something about a car, like, and they're like, oh, you park your car in the city, and how
that
long
was
that-
one time he was just
It was just
fucking
too much
weirdo.
talk.
But like, wait, I forgot. I have a brain fart now. But oh yeah, I was gonna say I've had a million times where it was like exactly what you said, like, oh, I'm not good on this app. Like, what's your number? And then like would never actually
Exactly.
text.
And my philosophy is if you're not checking the app, you're not invested in this process. You don't
Right.
get the number.
Right.
And so instead, arrange the entire date on the app, time, date, location. I'll see you here at 6 on Tuesday. And then one day before, you say, in case you need to reach me tomorrow for anything, as in don't blow up my phone, here's my number. What's yours?
What if they ask for your number before the date's planned?
Oh, I don't mind keeping things on here. It keeps me a little organized, but I'm free next Tuesday or Wednesday. Does either work for you?
Mm-hmm.
It's good. I like that.
I like that.
And if they scoff at that, that's too bad because they could have we're handing them dates on silver platters.
Right. I love
And
that.
then, wait, I just lost my thought now too.
Okay.
Wait,
But the conversion
oh,
is so much better. Anyway.
with swiping in the apps, I mean, they didn't, I was lucky I had an answering machine when I was dating. But like, I could see it being so addictive. Like, when
can
do you
be
think
addictive,
people,
yeah.
I mean, if I was single, every night I'd be like, ding, 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 ding.
Yep.
Like, when do
Yeah,
you
it's another
stop?
social
Like,
media in a way.
or
Good question. So I have most people do 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes later in the day so that they can't get too obsessed with it. Because, yeah, of course, it feels like an addiction. It feels like a game. Or let's say you're on Bumble, for example, which is swiping. I have the 5 or 50 rule. Stop when you either get 5 matches or you swiped 50 times. Put it away.
Oh my God, that could
50
literally.
times
Oh
is
my
a
God,
lot.
Slimy.
50, if you're going fast, it's not,
sounds like
it would probably take
me,
5 minutes.
No, for me, it would probably take an hour and a half.
No, 50 for me would take 4 seconds.
Yeah, 4 seconds.
Boom, boom,
I would
boom,
time
boom,
you.
boom, done. Like literally 4 seconds, no doubt.
Yep.
And that kind of brings me into like dating fatigue. Like I know the apps obviously can get really addictive, but I feel like a lot of people that I talk to about dating they're very just like over it. Like there's a very negative connotation around dating. And I always say like that's a reflection of how your dates are going to go if you're negative about it. Like
100%.
Then there's also times people are like, I'm over the apps, I'm deleting them. And not even apps, like I'm over dates, I'm like quitting dating. Like what's your take on that and how to handle dating fatigue?
Well, sometimes depending on my mood, I'll just be like, okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Take a break if you want.
Take a little break.
Right.
Depending on my mood, I'll say, show me your app. And inevitably, it could be maximized. It could be better. They're not using it efficiently. It's not the tool's fault. You know, if you hit yourself with a hammer, is it the hammer's fault? No, you probably didn't know how to use the tool that well. Maybe not the best analogy. Fine. I'm like not.
We're picking up what
I'm
you're
not a
putting down
crafty person. But the tools are just there to help you get the date.
Right.
Right. Are people's behaviors sometimes worse on dating apps or any technology because they feel incognito? They feel like there's no recourse? Yeah, of course. And that's sad. That's not the dating app's fault. That's just technology, right? It's trolls online.
Yeah.
And so I would say spice things up with in-person events also. I recommend going to 3 in-person events per month, especially if you're in a big
month?
Yeah.
Wow.
Especially if you're in a big city like New York.
Yeah.
1 dating type event, maybe a speed dating, maybe a mixer. And I have a list of ideas that I give clients.
I like
Okay.
that.
And then 2, just things you enjoy. Like I've lately been into magic shows because I'm really
I love it. But like comedy shows more, but I do
okay. I'm
appreciate
looking
a
for
good
magic show friends. So
I do enjoy magic show, but comedy is like my thing.
then you go to a comedy show. Go
Right.
to 2 different venues of comedy shows.
Right, and
Make
you
a
find
pact with yourself to talk
like-minded
to one
people.
new person.
Yeah.
Right.
That's your event. Just things to get outside your comfort zone. Because even if you're tired before, you always have fun once you get there.
It's so true.
yeah,
Right.
I know.
That's even just going before not even an event, like going on a date. Like no one's ever like, woohoo, going on it. Well, I don't know. I was never like that.
No,
but
most
like,
people are not. But then
yeah.
once they get there, they're glad
they're
they're there.
totally fine.
And I always say, like, the date, I just made this up the other day, and it's funny to me. I don't know about you, but I don't like hiking. I think it's really boring and I hate it. So if I'm,
you can probably resonate with that.
No, I love to walk, so I would like.
Oh, excuse
I
me.
don't want a nice walk outside, but if you told me we're going hiking tomorrow, I'd be like,
I'm out.
I'm sick, sorry.
Yeah.
But if I'm on vacation, I like hiking because I have nowhere else I'm supposed to be.
Right.
Not like I could be getting work done or laundry or
Yeah.
reading. I'm just supposed to be. So I like to think of a date like the vacation hike. You're already, that time is set aside. That is where you are supposed to be. So don't be thinking about all the other things you could be doing in that time.
Right.
You're supposed to be there.
Right.
Just be
And that's
present.
it.
I like that.
I really like that.
Thank you. That's the first time I've said that one out loud.
I like it. Keep it.
Thank you.
I saw a video you posted recently about texting response. I think it was like a very recent video
about
how
fast texting.
how you're a fast texter and like why that's not a bad thing. And I'm on your team here.
Thank you.
But I feel like a lot of people probably aren't.
I
Like they
know.
want to do the whole like, oh, he took 2 hours, I'm gonna take 3. Like that is a complete load of bullshit, I think. Like I was
Oh my
someone
God.
too. And I'm still even like with not even just romantically, like with friends. Like if I see your text, I'm
answer.
answering it right then and there.
Same. I hate games. And if someone likes you less because you happened to be available to answer their text, we got problems all around.
Yeah.
You know? And it stemmed from, I think I said this in a video. A client said to me, she said these words to me, you need to work on your boundaries. You answer my text too fast.
I saw that in your video. That's wild.
First of all, I run a business.
Yeah.
Okay, this is customer service. If I'm not in a meeting, I'm gonna answer.
Do you still work with her?
It was the end. I do a recap
Yeah.
call with clients when I'm done with the program.
You get feedback.
Yeah. And it was all good. And I don't think she meant anything by it.
No, of course.
But it did make me think, really? And then I'm like, no.
Right.
This is how I operate. And I think sometimes also people discount people who are available and they want to give more credit to the person who takes days because somehow they're perceived as busier or more desirable or more sought after.
So true.
And it's like, we always want what we can't have, right?
Right.
How about putting a premium on the people who want us on
Yeah.
our timeline? That sounds nice.
Yeah, that's
know?
so true. There
True.
is such a good connotation around like you take longer to answer but you're busier.
You
Like
must be
we're
so
all,
busy.
Right. We're all and I really hate when people are like, sorry, I haven't gotten back to you. I'm so busy. Like I get there are times when like you're busy and like you actually saw
Right.
the text, never got back to you. But like I think the whole like he's a bad texter thing or she's a bad texter
Yeah.
is a load of shit because I can only speak for people my age. I don't know about
Because I
Your
take
age.
forever.
You take, but she makes texting like a job.
She
I have
makes
to
fun of me.
sit down. I have to text this person. Like I
Yeah.
could do it with my eyes closed. But I think people our age, like I think it's such a load of shit. Like I think like
Everyone's attached to their phone.
Attached
And I
to
get
their
it. Sometimes
phones.
you're out of service. Sometimes you're traveling. Sometimes you're really busy. I mean, I work
Right.
with people who do surgery. Like, obviously, they're not texting in surgery.
yeah.
Of course. Fine. It's all I'm asking anyone to do is just text when you're available and don't overthink it.
Right.
That's
My
it.
friends and I saw this thing, or she told me, I told her, I forgot. We both saw it though, and it was like, if you have time to take a shit, you have time to answer. A
I
text.
feel that way too. I used to say that. I used to say if you're sitting on the toilet, and my own mother was like, "That's a little crass."
Yeah.
Okay, fine. sorry, mom. The first time I ever wrote about sex, I mean, it is my job. I'm a dating
Yeah.
coach. She said, and I'm sure she's going to listen to this.
Yeah.
She's like, "You can't just write get intimate." I'm like, No, sorry.
No.
Where are you from?
South Jersey, Cherry Hill.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. And then I lived in Washington D.C. for 19 years before
wow.
I moved to New York just over 2 years ago.
Oh, you're
Oh, you've
new to Brett. New to New York.
So, yeah, but I
Ish.
always knew I was more New York.
Yeah.
I mean, have we met me? So and I had been coming a lot because I do these pun competitions. You
What?
heard me. It's like a wordplay competition.
Wait, can you give us some puns? How does this work?
I can.
Okay.
Do you
Not
like
to put you on the spot.
You're
And there's
fine.
competitions?
Yeah, they're competitions. It's called Punderdome. It's ridiculously amazing in the best way.
Where are they?
In Brooklyn at a venue called Littlefield.
That's
Oh
great.
my
So
God.
I used to drive up every whatever it was 6 weeks for years, like since 2018 to COVID.
Yeah.
I would drive up to compete. My pun name is Lexicon because lexicon.
Oh, that's funny. Took me.
And if we have time at the end, I'll recite you some pun monologue.
Okay.
But so I knew I loved it here. I
Yeah.
already had friends, so it was an easy transition.
Oh, amazing. Okay, we almost have to wrap. So we want to end by doing some like finish the sentence statements. So I'm going to ask
Ooh.
you a few and then you take it whichever route you want to take it.
I love this. Okay.
Amazing. The biggest mistake people make in dating is
Putting too much pressure on themselves and their dates.
Period.
I already said
Love
that
it.
though.
Yeah.
but yeah.
One piece of advice I give to my clients that always helps is
Ooh, this is a new piece of advice I've been giving.
what's
List like 10 venues, restaurants, bars, whatever you want to try. And so if dating is getting a little monotonous to you, just go through your list and make all of your dates at the places you want to try anyway. So they're bound to be fun.
Oh my God.
I love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
That's what I've been having people do
Yeah,
lately, and they're
good.
having so much fun with it.
That's great. I
Yeah.
love that. The most common misconception about dating is
That your own city is the worst. Every city is
Oh.
exactly the same, for better or for worse. There are
Yeah.
amazing people in every city. There are crummy people in every
we've
city.
talked about that.
It's
'cause
not
New
your
York-
city.
Yeah, because New York was named the worst
People
city to
just
date.
love poo-pooing
Poo-pooing.
on their own city.
Yeah,
Every city's got its quirks.
it's a cop out.
It's a cop-out.
Yeah,
Thank
it's a cop
you.
out. I'll
exactly.
say it. I'll say it to your face. If someone is struggling to find meaningful connections, they should start by.
Ooh, I love this question.
I'm so glad.
Struggling to find meaningful connections. They should start by sitting down and figuring out what's actually important to them.
That's nice.
And then when they're talking to people, it's probably not like that someone is a certain height that's actually important. Like
Yeah.
reliability is probably more important.
Right.
So think about the qualities that are actually important to you and evaluate people on those.
And we always say attraction can build.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are good.
I'm so glad. Thanks. If you're afraid of getting did I skip one? No. If you're afraid of getting hurt in a relationship, the best way to approach it is
Accept that you can get hurt.
oh,
Once you accept it, nothing can hurt you. Like nothing.
that's true.
Like the only way to never get hurt is to never put yourself out there.
It's true.
Right.
So inevitably, anything you do in life, the minute you step outside your door, you can get hurt.
Bound. Yeah.
Physically,
Huh?
mentally. Is it worth not doing things for fear that one day in the future, your future self might hurt? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And build a support system. If things don't work out how you want,
Oh,
you'll be
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. That's so true. In your experience, this is the last one. In your experience, the most important quality people should look for in a partner is
I think that's unique to each person.
for sure.
But like, what are you left with at the end of the day with a
Mhm.
partner? Talking. I would say make sure you can actually talk to each other.
That's important.
Have a friend.
Communication is my favorite word.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love it.
But I also love what you said about doing the three things a month, like and being with like-minded people, because also, it's not always about finding love. Like you need a community.
You need a
to
community.
find friends, people you're interested in. So
Exactly. And don't do a
great.
thing because you think you're going to meet people there. Do a thing you enjoy anyway. Because if you go to like fishing group and you hate fishing, well, that's ridiculous.
I want to get into pottery. When I say get into, I mean do like one pottery class and then maybe like it more.
Do pottery then.
Yeah. No, I want
Do
to.
a thing that makes you happy because then you'll be more yourself when you're there anyway.
Yeah.
Like I can't even imagine. Can you imagine me in a hiking group? No, I'd be miserable, right? But maybe a pottery class or maybe a wordplay game show. I don't know.
Oh my God, that's so not
with
me.
your puns.
You won't see me in your pun competition,
That's
but you might
fine.
see me in a pottery class.
That's fine. I'll wave to you from
Yeah,
outside.
perfect. Oh my God. I'm sad we have to wrap.
Me too. This was
the
amazing.
fastest hour
This was
ever.
amazing.
I know, this one flew.
Yeah.
You're fabulous. Thank you so much for
thanks.
being here with us.
You want 2 minutes of puns?
Yeah, I want 2 minutes of puns.
Are you sure?
Yeah, pun us.
Okay, first time on a podcast doing it.
Okay,
Oh.
like, don't be nervous.
I'm not nervous. It's,
don't bite.
it's rapid fire.
Okay, whoa. I hope I got them.
Okay, it's meat. The theme is meat.
Meat?
Like you eat meat. Yeah.
Okay.
Fancy to meet you.
Okay, yeah.
Salami tell ya to stake my ground. I wanted a boyfriend, so I went where there's a shawarma guys. Tender. Now, I don't know the medium well, but most just want T-bone. Like reciting poultry, they say, nice rack. Ugh, baby back off and Wagyu tongue elsewhere. Since venison decency, okay.
No.
And then I met Chuck, prime choice. Chorizo, okay. Loser or wiener, he looks like John Hamm, only butcher. Oh, I'm chicking you out, sirloin up right here. We move fast, brisk it all, and buy a house. He hands me turkey. Ooh, it's move-in ready. Burger alarm installed. That's rare.
All right, jump
Veal
forward.
nice. But things got sloppy, jokes aside. I never sausage a temper. The worst. Oh, we fight. And do we? You can cut this if you want.
Great.
Why?
I'm not. I'm so
Pork
not.
K. He's a bore. All day he smokes hashish kebab. His friend, or was it Stu, told me. I guess pot roast to the occasion because he's bacon. And he's kind of jerky. He ribs me for not going barefoot. I'm prosciutto. Should he even care what I wear below knee? I utterly thought we were ecolizing things. He was my Kobe. And then he yelled a barbecue for me to leave. Or should I stay? I take stock. I fill a cup of yeses and a bolognese. And just like mutton, we're well done. Tartar, bison, I'll beef Frank. I'm scared. But I guess I don't need a euro. Turducken right I don't. Because in life I am game to rabbit by the horns, goat for broke, lamb on my feet because praise the Lord, I am stroganoff on my own. Oh, and the crowd goes wild.
This is fabulous.
No.
Wait,
You're so
if you're
welcome
not
to
how
cut
did
that.
you get into this?
No, if you're not watching the video right now, you're just listening, but my jaw is on the floor.
I actually had chills in the middle of it.
No, I got chills from the bolognese part.
Well, that's Fatty loves
Yeah, it's
bolognese.
Fatty's
So
favorite.
that's like one of my big things I do in my free time.
but
There's
you-
all these competitions. There's one in Austin I go to.
But do you know that the topic is meat? And
You
have
could
to
pick
come
any
prepared?
topic
Oh,
and come up with a 2-minute monologue. So I did one last year. It was all of the U.S. states in alphabetical order, and I ended with America because I'm America, but I'm Erica.
I'm Erika.
Wow, that is so like witty and cool.
Thank you,
and
thank you. That's like
I can't even wrap my head around that.
I mean,
I
honestly.
couldn't even
Thank
like
you.
have a one-liner.
it's so fun. So like, and that's my community. Like
Yeah.
once you find a thing, like really lean into that thing.
No, you leaned. You are leaning.
I am on the
Like-
floor.
Very lean. It was very lean.
I'm like in
You're
child's pose
horizontal.
down the
Yeah, you're horizontal.
It was
You
great.
leaned so
It was
hard at
real.
that
Oh,
one.
thanks. I never got to do that before.
No,
That was
how
so
did
fun.
you-
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. This was so fun.
So fun. Where can people find you? What are your handles?
Anywhere at a little nudge. I'm
Okay.
very easy to find. Erika
Okay.
with a K. That's about it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, 5 stars, all those good things. And we'll see you next week.
Yay.
Thanks so much.